Hi, guys. Welcome back to Crime Time with Jess. So, I told you earlier that if there was an update on Mica Miller, I would be coming on and giving that update. And as you can see from the title, it is that Mica Miller, according to the medical examiner, died from a self inflicted gunshot wound. Oops, sorry. So, I don't think this is what anyone expected. I don't think this is the outcome that anyone expected. But this is a medical doctor that has made this determination. Okay, so we're going to read an article about it, and there's some other things I would like to share with you guys. It says pastor's wife. Oh, way too. Pastor's wife, Mica Miller, cause of death revealed. Medical examiner confirms 30-year-old died from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Pastor's wife, Mica Miller, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound days after filing for divorce from her husband, John Paul Miller. Mica, 30, was found dead at Lumbee River State Park, North Carolina, on April 27th, weeks after she shared a video speaking about abuse within marriage as claims emerged she was being harassed and was afraid for her life. In the days after her death, her friends and family held a rally calling for justice for Mica outside the Solid Rock Church where Pastor Miller, 44, works. And I don't believe he works there anymore. I do believe that he was relieved of his duties. The pastor stunned his congregants last week when, after a service in which he had laughed and appeared entirely at ease, he announced that his wife had died and that her death was self-induced. On Monday, Robeson County Medical Examiner Dr. Richard Johnson told ABC, based on the nature of the wound, that it is consistent with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and it was not in the back of the head as it had been speculated.
Aubrey, did you want to play?
Week before she died, Mica posted an emotional video in which she spoke of abuse within marriage and offered support to anyone struggling with leaving a dangerous situation because they think God will be mad at them. She said, "Today my heart's a little heavy. I've had lots of women that have reached out to me about situations of abuse, and I just want to tell you what a lot of people have told me lately, because I think I forgot. But you are the bride of Christ before anybody else is, male or female. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Abuse is abuse." On Monday, before her cause of death was announced, ABC reported that Mica had filed police reports against a man whose name was redacted in the reports in March, accusing him of harassing her. She had told officers that she was afraid for her life, had found a tracking device on her car, and had her tires repeatedly deflated. After her death, Myrtle Beach Pastor Miller stunned his congregation at Solid Rock at Market Common Church in South Carolina when it announced that his wife had died and that her death was self-induced. He then told worshipers that he would be taking a little break and to leave the church without discussing what he had just told them. In the days since Mica's death on April 27th, her family had pushed back at her husband's explanation of it as a suicide. Speaking to the Daily Mail last week, Mica's sister, Sierra Brown, 28, said that the family wasn't making any statements until the investigation was complete, but pointed out the one thing I would say is that he has said it was an official suicide. That is not the case. There's still an open investigation. Mica's death came just 48 hours after her husband, from whom she had been separated for 1 month. I think it was longer than that, but okay. Was served with divorce papers. Court records hint at the tumult within the marriage, with Mica first filing for divorce back in October 2023 before withdrawing the filing on February 12th. Later that same month, Miller filed against his wife for separate support and maintenance and a motion withdrawn March 11th. But on April 15th, just 12 days before she was found dead, Mica filed once more, and according to friends, also sought a no contact order against her husband. Speaking March 22nd, Mica said, "You don't have to stay in an abusive relationship, whether that's sexual, whether that's somebody's forcing you to take illegal drugs or alcohol abuse or physical abuse, psychological abuse, making you think that this is all your fault or that you're a bad mom or a bad husband or you're not giving it your all when you know you are." We'll go on to something else because this has already been reported on and all of that. I think this is incredibly sad. I do not think a lot of people are going to accept this, that this was the real cause of death. I think you're going to see a lot of pushback about this, but we do have to remember that this was a medical examiner. Medical examiners, not like coroners, they have to have a doctorate. They go through a lot of training. They go through a lot of stuff to become a medical examiner. And I think there's more ways to kill someone than just physically, because it seems to me that John Paul Miller killed Mica Miller in every way but physically. And it seems to me that she committed the final act of abuse upon her body. She had the last say. And I hope that John Paul Miller's current girlfriend is taking notes, because he was also pretty abusive to his first wife. There were assault charges with her as well, him contributing to the delinquency of a minor. There's been some really outrageous things that have been reported on TikTok. And I was hesitant to play this. I am going to play it, but it is being alleged that Mica had a binder of all of the things that her husband had done to her. And I guess there was also an apology letter from him acknowledging all of the things that he had done. These are things that you would not expect to hear. So I'm just going to play this video and let you guys make of it what you will. Let me pull that up real quick. So as you can see, that's pretty freaking alarming and disgusting. Now, apparently, her sister, Sierra, has filed an affidavit and has done that a number of days ago. And so apparently this is the affidavit that we are going to see with this alleged information in it. And, I just have to say again, it's disgusting what we just listened to, but I do believe that there are other ways to kill people than just physically. And the way that he moved on with another woman, the way that he did, and there was a tracking device allegedly found on her car. Her tires were allegedly being slashed with some type of device. So I think the abuse and the harassment, I don't know if it just made her mentally just want to end it all, literally. Put a stop to all of it, because there's serious speculation about her being groomed by him as young as 14, 15 years old, and he eventually marries her, and then he allegedly abuses the crap out of her, in her own words, for years. So these types of things can definitely push a person over the edge. And I think that that is what happened to Mica, and that's very sad. JLR has apparently already requested the 911 call that Mica made. I reported on that earlier. And so that's going to be very sad to hear, but I'm sure we'll be hearing that soon enough. Just prayers to Micah's family. And I'm glad that JP was exposed for the crappy human being that he is. This is the year of truth. I keep saying that. People will be exposed for exactly what they are. And, again, he may not have killed her, but I don't think anyone can deny that this is just not a good guy. And so I think I'm going to end it there. And I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.